Hello, everybody. The Trials of Apollo, The Hidden Oracle, Chapter 3. Used to be gaudy, now uptown feeling shoddy. Bah, haiku, don't rhyme. As we trudged up Madison Avenue, my mind swirled with questions. Why hadn't Zeus given me a winter coat? Why did Percy Jackson live so far uptown? Why did pedestrians keep staring at me? I wondered if my divine radiance was starting to return. Perhaps the New Yorkers were awed by my obvious power and unearthly good looks. Meg McCaffrey set me straight. You smell, she said. You look like you've just been mugged. I have just been mugged, also enslaved by a small child. It's not slavery. She chewed off a piece of her thumb cuticle and spit it out. It's more like mutual cooperation. Mutual in the sense that you give orders and I am forced to cooperate. Yep. She stopped in front of a storefront window. See? You look gross. My reflection stared back at me, except it was not my reflection. It couldn't be. The face was the same as on Lester Papadopoulos' ID. I looked about 16. My medium length hair was dark and curly, a style I had rocked in Athenian times and again in the 1970s. My eyes were blue, my face was pleasing enough in a dorkish way, but it was marred by a swollen eggplant colored nose, which had dripped a gruesome mustache of blood down my upper lip. Even worse, my cheeks were covered with some sort of rash that looked suspiciously like. My heart climbed into my throat. Horrors, I cried. Is that acne? Immortal gods do not get acne. It is one of our inalienable rights. Yet I leaned closer to the glass and saw that my skin was indeed a scarred landscape of whiteheads and pustules. I balled my fist and wailed to the cruel sky. Zeus, what have I done to deserve this? Meg tugged at my sleeve. You're going to get yourself arrested. What does it matter? I've been made a teenager, and not even one with perfect skin. I bet I don't even have. With a cold sense of dread, I lifted my shirt. My midriff was covered with a floral pattern of bruises from my fall into the dumpster and my subsequent kicking. But even worse, I had flab. Oh, no, 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 no. I staggered around the sidewalk, hoping the flab would not follow me. Where are my 8-pack abs? I always have 8-pack abs. I never have love handles. Never in 4,000 years. We are now on the top of page 20. Meg made another snorting laugh. Sheesh, crybaby, you're fine. I'm fat. You're average. Average people don't have 8-packs. Come on. I wanted to protect that I was not average nor a person, but with growing despair I realized the term now fit me perfectly. On the other side of the storefront window, a security guard's face loomed, scowling at me. I allowed Meg to pull me further down the street. She skipped along, occasionally stopping to pick up a coin or swing herself around a street lamp. The child seemed unfazed by the cold weather, the dangerous journey ahead, and the fact that I was suffering from acne. How are you so calm? I demanded. You are a demigod, walking with a god, on your way to a camp to meet others of your kind. Doesn't any of that surprise you? Eh. She folded one of my $20 bills into a paper airplane. I've seen a bunch of weird stuff. I was tempted to ask what could be weirder than the morning we had just had. I decided I might not be able to stand the stress of knowing. Where are you from? I told you, the alley. No, but your parents, family, friends. A ripple of discomfort passed over her face. She returned her attention to her $20 airplane. Not important. My highly advanced people reading skills told me she was hiding something, but that was not unusual for demigods. For children blessed with an immortal parent, they are strangely sensitive about their backgrounds. And you've never heard of Camp Half-Blood? or Camp Jupiter? Nuh-uh. She tested the airplane's point on her fingertip. How much farther to Perry's house? Percy's. I'm not sure. A few more blocks, I think. That seemed to satisfy Meg. She hopscotched ahead, throwing the cash airplane and retrieving it. She cartwheeled through the intersection at East 72nd Street, her clothes a flurry of traffic light colors so bright I worried the drivers might get confused and run her down. Fortunately, New York drivers were used to swerving around oblivious pedestrians. I decided Meg must be a feral demigod. They were rare, but not unheard of. Without any support network, without being discovered by other demigods or taken in for proper training, she had still managed to survive. But her luck would not last. Monsters usually began hunting down and killing young heroes around the time they turned 13, when their true powers began to manifest. Meg did not have long. She needed to be brought to Camp Half-Blood as much as I did. She was fortunate to have met me. I know that last statement seems obvious. Everyone who meets me is fortunate. But you take my meaning. Had I been my usual omniscient self, I could have gleaned Meg's destiny. Make sure you look up that word, omniscient. I could have looked into her soul and seen all I needed to know about her godly parentage, her powers, her motives, and her secrets. Turning the page to the top of page 22. Now I was blind to such things. I could only be sure she was a demigod because she had successfully claimed my service. Zeus had affirmed her right with a clap of the thunder. I felt the blinding upon me like a shroud of tightly wrapped banana peels. Whoever Meg McCaffrey was, however she had happened to find me, our fates were now intertwined. It was almost as embarrassing as the acting. We turned east on 82nd Street. By the time we reached 2nd Ave, the neighborhood started to look familiar. Rows of apartment buildings, hardware shops, convenience stores, and Indian restaurants. I knew that Percy Jackson lived around here somewhere, but my trips across the sky in the sun chariot had given me something of a Google Earth orientation. I wasn't used to traveling at street level. Also, in this mortal form, my flawless memory had become flawed. Mortal fears and needs clouded my thoughts. I wanted to eat. I wanted to use the restroom. My body hurt. My clothes stank. I felt as if my brain had been stuffed with wet cotton. Honestly, how do you humans stand it? After a few more blocks, a mixture of sleet and rain began to fall. Meg tried to catch the precipitation on her tongue, which I thought a very ineffective way to get a drink. And of dirty water, no less. I shivered and concentrated on happy thoughts. The Bahamas, the 9 muses in perfect harmony, the many horrible punishments I would visit on Cade and Mikey when I became a god again. I still wondered about their boss and how he had known where I would fall to earth. No mortal could have had that knowledge. In fact, the more I thought about it, I didn't see how even a god, other than myself, could have foreseen the future so accurately. After all, I had been the god of prophecy, master of the oracle of Delphi, distributor of the highest quality sneak previews of destiny for millennia. Of course, I had no shortage of enemies. One of the natural consequences of being so awesome is that I attracted envy from all quarters. But I could not think of one adversary who might be able to tell the future. And if he came looking for me in my weakened state, I tamped down that thought. I had enough to worry about. No point scaring myself to death with what ifs. Excuse me. We began searching side streets, checking names on apartment mailboxes and intercom panels. The Upper East Side had a surprising number of Jacksons. I found that annoying. After several failed attempts, we turned a corner and there, parked under a crepe Myrtle, sat an older model blue Prius. Its hood bore the unmistakable dents of Pegasus hooves. How was I sure? I know my hoof marks. Also, normal horses do not gallop over Toyotas. Pegasi often do. Aha!